a bumper sandwich, booger lips.
One thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires. Shut up.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
I don't know what the hell's in there. It's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
Jason's alive. He killed my friend, now he's coming for me.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Bastards. Why are you torturing me like this? Why?
Well, I'll tell you. Nobody handles garbage better than we do.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Give Me Back My Horror Movies, the podcast. I am one of your hosts, Charlie. With me, as always, is Pete. Say hello, Pete.
Hello, Pete. How are you? It's lovely to see you guys again.
Fantastic. And the lady of the hour, the month even. We have the final pick for our Scream Queen, Anna. Say hello, Anna.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here to conclude a banger month with yet another banger picked by the fellas.
Right. We picked this, which is why I get to drive tonight, because
I know.
we decided
Get
to
to
pull
chill.
a little trick on Anna, because none of us are good at math when we set this out. It was like, wait a minute, there's one whole extra episode. So
Whoops.
that's okay though. We turned it into something good. We made a surprise.
Yes,
And
it was fun.
it worked, regardless of how hard everyone fucking tried to not let the surprise happen. So we're not going to go back down that road. We're not going to go down that road. Anyway, we chose what I'm guessing, Anna, is your second favorite movie of all time. Would that be fair to say? I know it's in the number 2 slot, and Scream, I already knew was like your movie.
Yeah, as far as horror movies are concerned, but even it's in, I'd say, my top 5 movies of all time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's even higher as far as that goes. But yeah, we are doing Dawn of the Dead, the 1978 edition. I watched the 2 hour and 20 minute long.
I thought it was almost like 2:38. At least the YouTube version, I think, was
the extended cut. Yeah.
I rented the one off of
which
Amazon.
Wasn't Romero's favorite. I think he said the theatrical release was his favorite, but this one was one of those films that got cut and recut by Argento. Was it?
Argento got the rights because
he gave Romero a bunch of money.
It got done because of that.
Exactly.
Which is awesome. 2 horror icons collaborating on something that is paved. It's wild because they're paving the way. It's not like, they got together later on in the 90s and did something. This is like, we're still making all the roads and bridges of horror. Let's work together now. All of a sudden, all you're missing is Stephen King directing Traffic on this road. And that would have sealed the deal for everything.
Even at this time, this kind of horror was unusual, was still unique and fresh.
Yeah, it was 78. I mean,
right. This kind of gore and horror wasn't around very much. I should say
not a lot.
But yeah, and you're right, Charlie. This paved the road for everything that came after.
Countless movies.
Yes.
It's basically the genre almost. If you don't want to consider slashers, this paved the road for the rest of it. But I got us a trailer. The regular trailer is like 3 fucking minutes long.
Yeah, they made it long.
I found a 1-minuter, so you are welcome.
In 1968, George Romero brought us Night of the Living Dead. It became the classic horror film of its time. Now, George Romero brings us the most intensely shocking motion picture experience for all times. Dawn of the Dead. Night of the Living Dead has ended. Dawn of the Dead is here. Get that room!
It gets up and kills. The people it kills get up and kill.
They must be destroyed on sight.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. Dawn of the Dead.
My favorite thing about this, because when I'm finding them, there's actually extra part to this that has no music, nothing. You just read it, and it says this film contains no sex scenes or nudity, but this movie is still rated X for violence and gore. So they're letting people know, because of the X connotation, it's not a porno.
Right.
This
goes
technically
back to X, Pete, the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the stigma. That's always, that's why there's NC-17 now.
Right.
Yeah, they've changed all that up. And I think technically this got released just not rated. Like they just said we're not even going to put it on there. But I think a lot of other places were still considering it the X rating. And I'm not sure what Dario Argento had to have done overseas. I know he cut it up quite a bit, but he went darker than what Romero did. So
yeah.
Let's start with our histories. We're going to save Anna for last. So we will start with Pete. Pete, as one of the biggest fans of the zombie genre, I got to know where, like your love of zombies started. Like, would it be this movie, or would it be like, Night of the Living Dead? So Pete, go ahead. Tell us about your love of zombies.
I remember seeing White Zombie with my dad. Bela Lugosi.
Oh, I was gonna say I've seen Rob Zombie too. It was pretty.
This is White Zombie, and it was okay, but that's how I understood zombies until I picked up Night of the Living Dead on VHS for $1 at the Big Wheel or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I really liked the movie because it was a downer of an ending. I was like, "Are you kidding me? That guy got all the way through here, battled racism and zombies and he just dies when the one white guy said, let's just hole up in the basement, and they would all been okay."
Pretty much.
But I also didn't. The thing I didn't like about Night of the Living Dead is the people drama, and Dawn of the Dead. This is a first time watch front to back. Because I've seen a lot of it's impossible to have not seen some clips from this one, and the silliness that Savini had, the helicopter scene. Man, how many video games have made that? Have paid homage to the helicopter scene as they're flying 100%. Away.
We just talked about that in Kill Bill, ironically enough, with the head thing.
yeah. So it's. I don't like zombies.
What?
I like that these zombies have pretty good rules.
Yes.
Because there are some zombie movies just with no fucking rules. And I'm like, no, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I think the biggest part of me not liking zombie movies is I hate the fucking people.
That's fair.
These movies are written to bring the worst out of humanity. And I'm looking for a hero. I want a hero. I want somebody to come in and save the day. Even if they lose at the end, I want someone to save the day. Ash Williams. You can call Deadites kind of sort of supernatural zombies, whatever. But there are no heroes. There are no likable people. These are all awful individuals. They're terrible to each other. And the greed and evil of humankind comes out in these movies. I can't stand it. I hate it. I hate it so much. I would be the first one to die in a zombie apocalypse because I'd be like, here, do you want some food? Not to the zombies, but to my neighbors.
I think you would do it to the zombie. I think you'd be out there trying to feed zombies.
Like the kids in Walking Dead.
I don't have guns. My survival tactic would be, I know how to brew beer. If you want beer, you will go get me what I need, and I will make it for you, and then you will protect me. That's going to be my.
All you need is a sharp pole through the brain. Guns just draw them closer anyway, so you need to be stealthy. There you go. For your first lesson in the apocalypse.
The mythology, right? But then you have to be close. Then you have to be close to stab them through the head.
See?
But if we're going by the Romero blueprint, then they would be slow. And I mean, that goes back to another thing. He created the modern zombie. My daughter is rewatching watching for the first time The Walking Dead, and I've been rewatching it, and I'm seeing homages that Greg Nicotero and his team and the effects put in there, and I'm like, oh, they did that in Day of the Dead, or they did that in Dawn, and to see that blueprint still so ingrained in pop culture today is really fucking cool. And like you said, one of the roadways that not just him and Argento together paved, but they paved separately as well.
While zombies kind of existed before him, he put his stamp on them. Kind of like Bram Stoker, put their stamp on Dracula, Mary Shelley, on vampires, even though Nosferatu, is its own thing. But, you had Mary Shelley with the Frankenstein and the monster. And so it's kind of cool that it was that current, like 60s, that zombies are a thing. And Romero is the godfather of zombies, man. I mean, it's just it's insane to think about. My first introduction with this is I'll start with, this is only my second time I've ever watched this movie.
Crazy.
Again, like Pete, all the way through, because every documentary, every 100 horror moment thing that comes on, this movie's in it.
Hell, there's a quote from it in your horror intro, or our horror intro.
So it's why I didn't clip it, because I was like, well, fuck, I already got it. I don't need but it's iconic. But so I was trying to remember when I actually watched this the first time, and I cannot remember when I saw it the first time. I do remember the first time I saw the Dawn of the Dead image, and it wasn't at a video rental store. Maybe I had possibly seen it and just it never grabbed me. But the lead guitarist of Metallica, Kirk Hammett, has his Dawn of the Dead guitar, and it is fully custom painted with the head, rising. He is a giant horror fan. I had it was out of one of the guitars, Metal Edge, one of those magazines. And he did like this full spread of all his horror stuff, and they had it laid out, and his guitar's laying there, and every once in a while he'll come out with it. I don't know if he played it when I saw him in concert, but that was where I saw that image. And then I seen the movie, and then I saw the remake, which I want to talk a little bit about later tonight. And that's going to be an interesting kind of comparison, because I also just got done watching the remake again too a few minutes ago. So that's my history with this. Anna, this is for you, not your pick, but for your pick. What's your history with Dawn of the Dead?
So it's one of those movies I watched probably in my teenage years. I think was the first time I fully watched it, but the first time I saw it was when I was a kid, and I woke up and Mom was watching it, and it scared the shit out of me.
I bet it did.
And so I don't remember, like, God, younger than Marley, maybe. Still young enough to be interested or like intrigued by horror, but it's still scaring me,
Right.
And wanting to sleep with Mom and Dad at night, because
this is a scary movie, period.
Yeah. But then I think I saw it, like the cover, or like whenever I got my laptop in high school, I would bounce back and forth on IMDb. Like I'd go from a director, see what all they did. And, oh, this movie, oh, he's in that. What else has he been? And I would just play like 6 Degrees of that for hours. And then somehow I happened back upon this movie, and it was like a picture, and it just looked so familiar. And I was like, I showed it to Mom. I was like, I think this is that movie I saw. She was like, oh yeah, you'd never watch that with me. Like, she knew it scared me. But then I rented it, and Night of the Living Dead and Day of the Dead, and I watched all of them around the same time, because that's when Mom was like, well, you got to watch the other two because there's a trilogy. And then I haven't seen the remake since it came out, I don't think. Like, I just, yeah, I remember watching it in high school because it came out in 2004, I believe.
03.
So I would have,
I think it's 03.
So yeah, I would have been like 9th, 10th grade when it came out. So I remember seeing it back then, but I don't remember too much about it, because this one is such a comfort movie for me. I put it on in the background all the time. I was like, well, I'm doing some work Saturday. I was like, I'm going to put on Dawn of the Dead, It's just easy to throw on. I've seen it. I know it like the back of my hand. And about 3 years ago, Fathom did a bunch of classic horror re-releases into theaters, and Dawn of the Dead was one of them. And I got to see it in 3D in the theater on Halloween weekend.
This was shot in 3D?
And it was magical.
Or was it upscaled?
I think it was upscaled.
They upscaled it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing's like zombies aren't flying at you through the screen.
That's
but
why
Right. It was just, it wasn't anything like crazy. It was
depth
like a trip.
perception, type thing. Yeah.
But that was a magical experience. So yeah, I love this movie. And this is where, when The Walking Dead came out, I was like, oh, this seems kind of familiar too, like we just talked about. So that's kind of what got me into The Walking Dead in the first place when it started and got me wanting to watch it. So yeah, I have a deep love for zombies. I'm like, Pete, you said that stuff frustrates you, and I'm like enthralled by that.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I want to see, kind of like with Yellow Jackets as well, like what people do in extreme circumstances like this, and what they'll do to survive. And are you going to be someone who's going to give your shirt off your back to your neighbor, or are you going to be like a Negan and kicking ass and not asking any questions?
I've never seen The Walking Dead a single episode because a very good friend of mine who is a drama queen, she loves the reality shows. She loves all that kind of discourse that getting under each other's skins. Right.
Yeah.
She just loves that. Like she lives for that kind of stuff. And when she says like, oh my God, have you seen The Walking Dead? It's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, I am never watching it. You like it. There is no way in heaven or hell I'm going to watch this, because this is going to be a drama popsicle the whole way through. And as far as I have, my Jody watched it and she said, yeah, it's really full of human drama. It's
all about the drama. It's all about the humans.
Right. It's not about
but that's what makes the show great too.
Zombies are secondary. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the big question too about the shows. Who is The Walking Dead? Is it the zombies or the people?
Right. Yeah, I read the comics and then the graphic novel collection stuff. So and I'm one of those guys that I got to about season 3 and went, fuck this, I'm out. You guys are totally off script now. Because in my mind they fucked everything up. Shane lived way too fucking long, and they fucked up Lori. And
I've heard all that. Yeah. Marley just found out there was a comic. She was like, there's a comic. So she's wanting to read it now.
It's the only one that I turn a page, literally shocked me. I closed the book, took a moment, opened it back up, read to that page again, and had to stop again.
Nice.
That was how impactful that one scene. I'll tell you all off there in case someone does want to read that stuff.
I don't want to
spoil it here.
Right.
But zombies seem to kind of go through these like ebbs and flows. Like for a while, zombies are going to be huge.
Yeah.
Then zombies die down a little bit. Then it comes back again. I will say it's fucking time for zombies to go away for a while again. Like Walking Dead has gone on way too long. Now that we're doing 2 spinoffs,
3
spinoffs. Every convention, every fucking zombie that's ever been on screen is wanting you to buy their autograph, and they're nice people, but I'm fucking done. Okay. Zombies need to go back into the darkness for a little while. Let werewolves and machine guns come back for just a bit. Pete's second favorite monster ever.
I love werewolves.
Yeah.
Those with machine guns? No.
And it's one of I bring that up because that's one of the things I'm drawn to with zombies is horror zombies have a blend of action in them.
Oh, sure.
Because 90% of them have guns, somehow, somewhere. This Dawn of the Dead isn't very action packed. The remake, 100% action packed, but Day of the Dead,
military, yeah.
Well, Day of the Dead is the military.
Yeah.
After this one, and that one is definitely action.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite of the trilogy, if I'm being honest, because
I do love Day of the Dead.
You get Bub. You get more people, which
unlike the question, are they sentient?
Right. you start getting this. And hell, I'll even, shock some people. I like Land of the Dead. I like smart zombies. That movie really kind of was wild that humanity tried to start building itself back. And, we're still dealing with zombies and they get smarter. I was like, I like it. I like it a lot. And I enjoy zombies. I was looking forward to doing this one because I hadn't seen the original in so long. Then I read there was 557 versions of this movie. And I wanted
There's a Japanese cut I'm dying to see, quite honestly.
Oh, I don't doubt that. If there's a Turkish cut, I'm in. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
So
I don't want a Turkish cut. I want a Turkish knockoff. That's what I want.
I want it to be a knockoff, but they use all of the stuff from the movie. That's what I want to see.
Cruel Jaws.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly like Cruel Jaws. Just tell me a whole nother story using everything from this movie and film like 10 new minutes. That's all I need. But yeah, I kind of like this one. I gotta say, I did not remember it at all.
Really?
I mean, I remembered
Man.
the scene, the pig intestine scene, but everything else, I'm like, oh fuck, they're on helicopters. I totally forgot that they're on. Like the helicopters are a big deal. I forgot about the news station this opens with, which I love. I love this opening because we are in the place where we're supposed to be getting the information for emergencies. And it is in utter chaos. And people are damn near fist fighting. There's a guy on television talking about how fucked we are. You got another guy telling him he's full of shit. And there's people talking in the background while they're live on air. And I'm just like, this is utter chaos, but that's what it would be.
That's what it would be. Yeah.
I believe that.
I mean,
Even
people
now.
are fucking sheep. We are sheep. One person is smart. A group of people are dumb. Okay. Trust me. Look around right this second.
Yeah.
You'll get it.
But smart people are dumb.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is. Thank you, Men in Black. Will Smith said it,
exactly.
or Tommy Lee Jones said
Tommy
it
Lee
best.
Jones did, yeah.
But it rings true, and I think Romero captured that in this opener of some. And then there's still the guy that's like, we're going to get the ratings. We don't want to not show people where to go for safety because they're going to tune into us. I was like, that right there, that's fucking capitalism right there. That's the American way right there. In 1978, I was kind of blown away by this opening. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Pete.
I, as much as I don't care for this genre, I understand what Romero was saying to the audience. He was punching down on America and the American lifestyle. I mean, this takes place in a mall. These zombies that are in the mall are still shopping, technically.
Yeah, that's something he wanted to showcase.
So,
it's like even mindless zombies want to flock back to what they know, and people know consumerism. They're going to go.
Part of their brain is still active. That's what they went back to.
Because we're mindless zombies.
Yeah,
I get the message, and I appreciate the message. I don't care for it.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Well, that's what I'm kind of asking, Pete. Yeah. Seeing the chaos of this beginning, that's what really rubs you
internally
the wrong way.
Me so sad for the human race is that I believe 100%, 100,000% is. I'm pretty sure this is how it would end up. The military wouldn't really know what to do. They would. The emergency broadcast system would collapse in face. I mean, just look back to COVID.
Yeah.
It was a worldwide pandemic, and people.
And it was a worldwide clusterfuck.
Screaming at each other. It was a clusterfuck, and people didn't believe it, and people didn't. And thankfully, after a while, cooler's head prevailed, and we got some help, and it's now under control, even though it's still there.
Right.
Right.
But something like this. When
there's no coming back from
there's no coming back. The other thing, I kind of want to know why this has happened, but I also really don't want to know why this is happening. Because I think it started with Night of the Living Dead. It just poof, there we are.
This literally is taking off right from that. Like I don't know what the exact timeline is, but it's not long. So wherever
No.
Night of the Living Dead ended, we're only talking maybe weeks or months
Yeah.
at best.
And from what I understand, in Walking Dead, everyone is carrying this zombie
Yeah, they're all
virus or
infected.
whatever.
They're all
So
infected.
that's just sad.
That's the one. If you die, you're gonna be a zombie. They take out the bite, which you can still get bit. They do make that a big deal.
You'll just die quicker.
Yeah, you're gonna die quicker. You're gonna turn quicker. But they also put the added effort of, well, even in death, you're gonna come back.
Right.
Because it's kind of like an airborne thing. I mean, they involve the CDC, everything.
Mhm.
Hell, the CDC, and this is not bullshit. They have a plan for a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
They literally do. I mean,
if only we would listen to them when the CDC comes out and tells us what to do.
But look at, well, sorry, Pete.
Nah, I trust CDC because they're way smarter than I am.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it just like in this too, even when there's a much bigger picture going on, like in this, there is a fucking zombie apocalypse happening, and you've got old buddy on the roof, the cop, shouting racial slurs in the projects trying to get these people to come out. Like even during an apocalypse, people are still gonna not see the bigger picture and are just gonna be fucking assholes.
They're gonna show their true colors easier.
Yeah, because
that's what Romero's showing us is in the heat of everything, your true self's gonna pop out.
Mhm.
So if you say the N-word without any regard, again, 1978, little bit looser rules back then. Not that I'm condoning it. That there's a lot of stuff we got to take into consideration, even talking about this movie.
Yeah.
Of being made in 1978, a lot of manisms, and holding the woman,
white manisms,
that white man and black man and white woman and all this other stuff. But yeah, for Romero to actually, he went there. He went to the projects in his story, and he's like, we're going to show where it's going to be the roughest. Like, who cares what's happening in suburbia? Who cares what's happening in an affluent high rise? Let's show where the cops really don't want to be there. That's kind of what it comes down to. You're waiting for the cops to be like, fuck it, I'm out. Kind of like at the news center when that security guard / cop, they're like, you fucking stop him. We got jobs to do. And he's just like, fuck this, bro. I'm out. But then you have a cop or a security guard still carding someone as he walks in. And that struck me more than the chaos was like somebody's still trying to do their fucking job.
Isn't that
Somebody's
crazy?
still, it's insane. That's how people cope with chaos.
Well, look at the Titanic going down. The band is still playing while everybody's getting on the lifeboat.
You gotta keep playing, man. You gotta keep them people calm.
You ever heard that Harry Chapin song, Dance Band on the Titanic?
I don't know.
I've not
Maybe I
heard
would if I heard the tune.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, hey, even when we went and saw this in the theater during that scene when all the N-word stuff was being said, there was a black couple that was there, and the woman got up. They were like 2 or 3 rows in front of us, and she was aggravated. And I heard the guy say, "This was made a long time ago," and then they got up and left.
I mean, I do not disregard her feelings toward this.
Oh, absolutely
whatsoever.
not. It just goes to show that people still do take that stuff seriously.
They do.
Even in a
Feelings are
movie
valid.
where, I'm sure they wouldn't like a Tarantino movie for the same reason. Like they show people's true colors and they don't sugarcoat it just because it's a movie.
And that's exactly what it is. They're showing the realism of it.
I just saw True Romance. Oh God.
Oh my gosh, I know, right?
Woo!
It's there. It's in your face.
Oh my goodness.
But it's the character. It's the way this character is.
Yeah. And you kind of have to have, I like it because it gives us Ken Foree, which iconic in horror movies.
Yep.
He's showed up a handful of times on our show.
I got to meet him at Horror Hound. It was magical.
Did you?
That's right.
I gave him one of my zombie brains candles, and he really liked it.
Nice. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, that was a bucket list moment getting to meet him.
Oh, cool.
But he's there having to deal with it, especially when they find the room where they've been housing their loved ones.
Right.
Which is this is my thing of I'm pretty sure the first time I watched this had to be like the theatrical cut. Like I probably had no idea the other one existed. And I do gotta say, as much as I love knowing the entire story, God, it takes a while to get anywhere in this movie in that 2 hours and almost 30-40 minutes, whatever it is.
Yeah, it is for the people who like the drama of a zombie apocalypse.
It took me several sittings.
I'm
and
sorry.
I wasn't. No. It was very long. It was a lot to chew on. And I'm like, okay.
You pulled a Nate. You had to.
I wanted done it. I wanted done it. I sit down and I watch the damn movie. I am there with them. One time you hit play and it stopped till the credits roll.
I knew it was 2.5 hours. So like, okay, I got a little time here, a little time here. But I enjoyed watching it. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Same.
Didn't care for it. It's not my subject.
I think it's the noticing, and I had to have watched this later on in my horror viewing because I had a throwback to Lost Boys where I went, I know this is like groundbreaking and everything, but I have seen so much more violent zombie movies,
right?
That this feels tame to me.
Right.
Even though I'm still in awe of a lot of the special effects that happen.
Oh, Savini was on his game.
When that chick took that chunk out of that dude's neck in that tenement building,
you believe it?
I read that she bit too far and actually like bruised the guy under the appliance. So the reaction, it's either he or she, whichever way it goes. I can't remember.
He bit her.
So when he bit her facial reaction is from actually being bitten, not her flesh gone, but she felt the pressure. And I was like,
I bet.
Believable. I'll take it.
You believe it.
Yeah. And this movie starts so frantic. I was kind of expecting that as it went, but
there's no way it could have kept that pace.
Oh yeah. No, not at the length. Maybe a 90-minute you can with some.
Wow.
You got to have that moment of the refuel. We'll put a quotation mark around it.
Take a breath somewhere.
Yeah. But I'm watching this going, that's a lot of refueling where you're going. And I'm glad they addressed that. They actually say that in the movie that, they land at one, the pump's empty, the other pump has it. And as the movie goes, he even brings it up again. He goes, you realize how many stops we have to make to even get to Canada. And is it better up there?
Now, why was it Canada? Just
I think at that point they're feeling like maybe it's just in the United States.
Okay.
Maybe everywhere else has this.
Is it too cold up there to the zombies freeze?
Well, I mean, my logic would be when you ever
I'm moving to Alaska, man.
When you ever see the map of Canada and you realize everyone basically lives at the southern part of Canada, that's all fucking wilderness up above, man. I mean, if you're saying let's go to Canada, I'm not going to Toledo. I'm going past them into some bears and lakes and trees and shit. Wherever they get that Canadian beer straight out of the river, that's where I'm going.
There's a beer river in Canada?
That's what I assume. Okay.
Bye.
And Pete, you could not go to Alaska because 30 days a night and no alcohol, you'd be fucked. You're better off going to Canada.
Pete, we're not even allowed to go to Canada right now. Haven't you heard? We're not even allowed. You're the closest there than any of us.
That's true.
So yeah, I get that it kind of I read that this movie, his intention was this is the moment the human race and the zombies are equal. There's an evenish amount of humans and an even amount of zombies. Like the first one is just a few zombies. A handful has caused this chaos. If we believe that's the only spot it happened, that could be happening other places. And when you get to day, the human race has been driven underground.
Yeah.
Because they're in the bunker. Yeah, they've lost. They're going up and dragging zombies down to test on them. I like his progression. Land is now humanity has carved out a small chunk and they've gone up, kind of like, Japan, there's no more room to expand. We go straight up, and we give the zombies the rest of the world. We'll live in our high rises now. So I like what he's. I've not watched Diary of the Dead though.
I don't think I've seen that one. Huh?
I think Nate said it wasn't too bad. I think he's the only one that out of us that has sat down and watched it.
Okay.
So I'd be interested to. I should finish it. I mean, hell, I've watched all 4, I might as well go into it. But so I mentioned earlier that I watched the remake. I've seen the remake way more. I've probably watched the remake like 10 or 15 times. I really, really enjoy it. And I think that's the reason what we're talking about. It is way more fast paced. There's way more people. So you get a better grouping dynamic of how people respond to each other in the midst of a zombie apocalypse. And they do something Romero regrets is he goes, I wish we could have had way more zombies outside of the mall. He goes, I wanted it to be swarmed. We obviously couldn't afford that.
Right.
In the remake, it is wall to wall packed. And they drop that same nugget of, people are just doing what they always remember. Ken Foree does make a cameo.
Oh, does he? I don't even remember that.
I think he's playing like a preacher or something, and he says his line. He says, there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Oh,
it's like
that's dope.
One of the last things that, they see on live television before it goes. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but if you actually watch these back to back, it's really cool because you see all of the little nuggets and it kind of fixes some of my issues I have with the original.
Okay. I need to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I recommend you do. I think there's even an unrated cut where it gets a little bit more violent, a little more Pete, there's nudity, so I mean if you want to watch a zombie movie.
I don't want to see zombie boobs.
No zombie boobs. There's a pregnant zombie lady, which I like the flip they do. So instead of following our lead in, I guess there's really no lead in this movie, so to say, but our main female character, she's pregnant in this.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of the film, it does a really nice passage of time where she's not very pregnant at first, and then she's like halfway through being pregnant.
I like that.
Not incapacitated pregnant, not like
not hand on the back.
No. She still has some ability to move without being too encumbered. But I really liked that because it would be so hard to show the passage of time inside a mall. You're just not sure. And at that time they had killed all the zombies in the mall, right? Like
there was a sequence where they took them all out.
And they threw them all in the freezer.
Do you want that stuff stinking up? No, I wouldn't want that stuff stinking up.
I sure don't. But
I'm sure they took everything out of that freezer they wanted, and let's just pile the bodies up in here,
or put them toward the back and put the good stuff to the.
I mean, I'd have thrown them outside.
So yeah, I thought that was a very clever way to show a passage of time where she's developing. Through that, it was. Boy, it's so many things I liked about this movie. It's the subject matter. I can't get over.
But this one has rules, which I kind of thought would be a little bit different for you, because it's not going well. They're the slow zombies, so we don't.
Slow zombies.
Other than the kids, which I laugh every time those kids pop out of that closet.
They're fast.
They're little fast little fuckers.
Fast.
They didn't tell Ken Foree that they were going to be kids and that they were going to run. So his reaction
is like, "Oh shit,
fuck, little fuckers," basically. And they're kin to
Tom Savini. Yeah, they're his niece and nephew.
Oh, wonderful!
Which I love that. So they're having a ball playing with Uncle Savini at this.
Yeah, playing zombies.
Francine, I have issue, not a huge issue. And I'm curious. This woman has zero emotion, and part of me is like
she's in shock.
There's part of me that's like that.
6 months, she's in shock.
Yeah,
there's where I have my problem. 6 months. 6 months. This woman hasn't cracked a smile. They're having fancy dinners. They're shopping around. I mean, even when they're trying to show the levity, like where they're doing the dress up sequence, she doesn't fucking smile.
Mental health is a tough thing, man. Some people just crack. I mean,
guess.
let's
I mean,
say
I'm not
like
here to shit on
postpartum
it.
depression is a real thing, and
Oh,
it can
100%.
last for
Yeah.
it can last for years.
That's true, but there's also a progression of how women kind of get better as Romero movies go along. Like, I can't think of her name from Night, but my God, like, she's the worst.
Yeah, she's terrible.
And then now we get to Francine, and she can definitely hold her own. The problem is the guys don't really care enough to give her a chance. The only one that does is Peter. And so, and that's
what a good guy I am.
And well, I think because of it being that time, they look at each other as the minorities in that situation, because he might be a black man, but she's a woman, and they're not going to listen to a woman. They didn't listen to a woman.
There's a hierarchy.
Yeah, they didn't listen to women when the world was working, let alone in the apocalypse.
Yeah, right.
They're damn sure not going to think.
Especially in the 70s, women had just gotten the right to carry their own credit card without a male cosigner.
Yeah,
and I think that's a huge thing, and obviously we have to at least broach this subject because they bring it up in the movie where she's like, I need to have a say in this. You know, you guys are just running around doing all this macho bullshit, basically, is what she's wanting to say.
Yeah, I want to learn. She wants to learn how to fire a gun. She wants to learn how to fly the helicopter.
How to fly.
Which I like that, you know, the Peter was a little hesitant, but even Ken's like, she needs to learn. It's a really good idea. But Anna, you're dead on, because by the time Day comes around, Sarah is our badass in that one.
She's not afraid to talk to Captain Rhodes and tell him how the fuck he is, and she's not going to stand up.
She would have punched. She would have like gotten a boxing ring with him if that had come up in that movie. I mean, he's a piece of shit. Yeah.
But Captain Rhodes is also an interesting conversation for that Day of the Dead episode, because he's a villain I kind of like, and he makes some good points in.
He makes good points, but he's technically the villain of the movie.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
They do in the remake with Dawn, they take elements of Day and blend it into Dawn.
Okay.
Because you kind of get the security guards feel like what the military guys in Day act like. Rhodes is kind of the leader of this. They don't go full Rhodes, but when I watched it, I went, oh wow, I see a whole lot of, like, they just took a little bit of this element, and a little bit of that element, and they've never done Day of the Dead, I don't think, as a remake. I think Dawn's the only one that they've done.
Yeah.
I promise I won't keep harping on that, but I could not watch the other one after watching the original.
Want to now, because like I said,
I would love to. I'd love to cover it. Like, seriously, I know Pete's gonna fucking hate us, but it would make a great conversation.
I won't hate you. I won't hate watch it. I will just watch it and do my best.
Still has rules. They just change up that they're fast fucking zombies.
See, I'm dead.
Oh,
that's scary.
I love a fast zombie. Not quite World War Z. To me, that got a little out
There's
of hand.
sprinters there, man.
Yeah.
They're Usain Bolts.
They're fucking ants, okay? Because they're climbing up each other, taking a helicopter down, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But that, like, there's too much. There's too fast. That's that. I like remake fast zombies. Those I like. It's like playing hard mode, and that's another thing. Watching this movie, I am just reminded of when I got my first Xbox 360 and I played Dead Rising. That game is like one of the perfect zombie games. It was so good. Our Xbox 360s weren't ready to play it, and it red ringed so many consoles.
Oh, damn.
Mine included. It red ringed my shit because it would your processor would get way too hot.
It get too hot.
And it would overheat. And it was Dead Rising. You were a photographer. You had to build your own weapons. You had to find pieces, build shit. Do little missions.
Zombie Minecraft is what it is.
Oh, dude, it's so insane.
Bingo.
You're in a mall and you're trying to like work your way around zombies with nothing at first. It's insane. I love it. But this movie's like giving me nostalgia for something completely different.
No.
Because it's paying homage to these original zombie movies. And I mean, there's so much stuff in this movie that other movies have used, not just zombie movies. Action movies have used them. Other horror movies have taken tropes from, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, all that stuff, and just, either always paid homage or, just, hey, that's a cool idea. Let's use it with a slasher, or let's use that idea with this.
And not to mention, Night of the Living Dead is, what's the term? Public domain. So
yeah, it's public domain.
It's great for, indie filmmakers to throw on in the background. Like if they're doing if it's like a Halloween themed kind of thing, Night of the Living Dead usually play.
Literally put it on as a podcast episode. I could take all the audio from it and pod it. We could do a commentary if we wanted to.
Ooh, that would be fun.
It would be interesting. I know everyone kind of does it, but I like having a unique, depending on the show, take on it. We can make fun of that girl, how much she screams and hollers and is so.
Oh God!
She couldn't wipe her own ass in that movie.
Dude,
she couldn't.
It's like at some point,
her husband didn't help at all.
At some point, kind of like going back to Francine, like you were saying, Charlie. Yeah, it's 6 months of being in shock. Like there comes a point where it's like, all right, bitch, like pull your big girl britches up. This is happening. Go have a good cry. Get it out. Go scream, go break something, go kill some zombies. Fuck, but it's happening. So deal with it.
It hurts what I'm supposed to believe is a relationship between her and Peter, right? Yeah, Peter.
No.
No, her husband was Flyboy.
That's what I thought. What was
Peter's
his name? I'm terrible with the names. That's why I kept calling him Ken Forey. I don't even use his character name in here. Peter is Ken Forey. Steven, yeah. Steven is Flyboy. I'm going to call him Flyboy.
Yeah, Flyboy.
It hurt me believing they were in love. Yes, I get this is the apocalypse happening. But they do this thing where, like we were just talking about, they show a passage of time of them at least trying to cope with what is going on. I never see, and I'm not saying I want to see sex, but I don't see any intimacy between the two of them.
They have no chemistry whatsoever.
Yeah, chemistry's
even
the
though
better.
they were naked in bed together once.
Yeah, that made it worse.
It was just like going through the motions, kind of like going back to being zombies. You're a couple. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have sex. You're supposed to have dinner together and dress up and do your hair.
Right.
Like they're in a delusion, stuck in this mall when they should have just.
Yeah, I needed to see her break out of that delusion, even for a moment.
Yeah.
In this movie, because she's basically a zombie, and I'm not trying to be mean about it. And I get the character development. I understand what Romero's trying to say about the woman aspect of being involved in the disaster of what's happening around and how she's held down. He's actually showcasing that, not doing it to her on purpose. He's going, they are holding her down. That's what they would do. They are men. Yeah. And I get that, but I still need that tiny little spark of humanity, I guess it is, so that I know she wants to survive this. Right. I get to a point where it doesn't feel like she wants to survive. And I know there's different talks of whether this was actually filmed or not.
I've heard it wasn't. Like it's just been rumored.
Because there's a scene at the beginning of the movie, which means they couldn't have filmed the ending because they use her head. So there's supposed to be a point where Peter actually does, Ken Forey, kill himself.
Yeah.
Like he's about to. And then she stands up. They said on the rail, but she would have had to stand up out of the cockpit and the propellers would cut her head off. And they built the head. They decided not to film it. So the head splatter at the beginning of the movie was a redone her head for that shotgun kill where like, early scanners kill. So it was written, but I don't think it was ever filmed. But the way she's acting, I kind of wish she'd have died at the end of this, because I'm like, why do you want to live? Like, where are you going to go? Like you do not show the spark of we must continue. To me,
Well,
I was waiting for her just to walk outside.
Well, it's because they've been trapped in this delusion in this mall where they have literally had anything and everything they've needed to continuously live a cushy life for almost the whole time she's been pregnant.
Oh,
so
yeah.
damn near 8 months of this apocalypse. So now they're about to get out into the world and they're about to see how it really is. And now we're going to see if that's, obviously we don't, it's left ambiguous, but we have to decide, do we think she gets that spark when they get out there? Or do we think that she just kind of succumbs and panics out?
I think it's just, I wanted to want her to get to survive before all hell broke loose. You know what I mean? Like when all hell's breaking loose and you're in survival mode, everyone's going to run for the helicopter. It actually feels odd that Ken Foree runs to the bedroom.
It made no sense to me.
Exactly.
You had an opportunity to climb up that ladder and kick it over.
Also, can we say, I want that ladder. Not one zombie could knock it over. Like zombies running everywhere.
Yeah,
And
there's a zombie climbing up the ladder without using its hands.
that guy was great.
Wow. How did you do that, sir?
I love that you brought that up, and I am going to tell you one of my favorite things in this movie right after this break.
You're watching the USA Network.
Are you looking for a movie podcast with deep dives, interviews, and thoughtful film analysis?
We ain't got none of that. What do we got?
You want to hold the bucket?
Right, I'll hold the bucket, sit in the cup chair.
There with I will never blink. I'll just be there holding the bucket.
I will never blink on her
drapes, most likely. You look like a drape jizzer. R.I.P. That sweet, sweet pussy. It is known that Jessica Tandy had the sweetest pussy in Hollywood. If you don't know, Google it. Don't Google Jessica Tandy's pussy, you guys. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Doom Generation. Available anywhere you find podcasts.
All right, Paul. So I think it's time we, made a trailer.
Do we have to?
Like, people keep asking, so we're gonna deliver.
Well, what are we supposed to do in this damn trailer?
We're just gonna talk about shit we do here. We theme our months, right? Like, what do we?
I mean, I know we've done stuff like musicals and animation month and creature features, all sorts of stuff, but is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's something kind of like that. That I'm probably going to sit there and tell people, we're on all social medias. We're on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and it's all under Flicks and Friends podcast.
Yeah, I guess so, if they're not tired of hearing that by now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that'll work. Should we press record?
Yeah, let's press record right now.
Just when you thought you were safe, the terror continues with another chilly tale tonight on USA Network's Saturday Nightmares.
I could totally see this being played on Saturday Nightmares, being edited down.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
That tight 90-minute, probably 2 hour with commercial breaks, but you get that 90-minute version of it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not any stretch of the imagination of Charlie's favorite thing in this movie, but because Pete brought it up, the guy standing on the ladder, I can't not bring up the zombie carrying around a fucking gun by its barrel.
Like looking down at it a lot of the time.
The entire movie. Like he gets a regular shotgun at first and then later up trades because because he grabs two guns and it's the happiest zombie I've ever seen in my life. I don't care what anyone says. He's smiling.
Yeah.
And now he had two guns in his hands and let go of the shotgun and held on to the M16.
Uh-huh.
And he keeps carrying it throughout. And he is standing at the ladder at the end, which is why it's so in my head that I am grinning. And I'm also going, you guys have been leading me on with the greatest setup ever in a zombie movie, and you didn't fucking do it.
You didn't punch that stamp.
You didn't.
It would have been the funniest. Oh my God.
Exactly. Him walking around, Ken Foree needs to run up that fucking ladder. That thing's holding the goddamn barrel at its face, and Ken just reach over and pull the trigger real quick and blow that zombie's head off. I'm like, you didn't do it. Come on,
or better yet,
Romero.
he stumbles and hits the butt on the ground, and it goes off. Boom.
Yeah, I was going to make a really off-color joke there, but I won't.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah, I like Nirvana. Anyway,
Oh.
I did it tastefully, kind of. But I did. I liked. I liked the who was the other guy with Forey? He was the other like SWAT guy.
He was
right?
the other
Roger.
Were they? Yeah, were they reservists or were they army?
They might have been military because they drive the cop car up earlier, but it's cops that are raiding the air platform. They're getting in the van. And I like this. This is another thing. And I swear I'm not doing this on purpose, but this is just what happened. What the cops' plan was to get into that SWAT van and go get a boat and go to an island.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do in the remake. There's no helicopter. They all end up in this mall together. They do bring back the BP trucks that they use to blockade in the mall. They repaint
nice.
them. I love seeing that. But they change it up. Now the survivors build buses and they reinforce them so they can get to the pier, get on a boat, and go to one of the islands that are less populated. And I was like, that's what they're doing. They flipped it to like, that was actually a good idea, technically, if you think about those cops. But yeah, I like Ken. I'm just calling it Ken's partner. I really liked him a lot.
I do too. He's
in
my
this
fave.
movie. Yeah, exactly.
The shorter,
He's a pretty cutie
Yeah.
too, Roger.
the short fuse.
He gets a
He's the one that's going Yahoo, woohoo! And
yeah. He gets a little stir crazy there, especially when
Yeah.
they're doing the trucks. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like his undoing. He gets a little unglued.
Absolutely, it's a Sunday. He gets too
He gets
excited. or
bit
something. I
because
don't
of
know.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like, when they're trying to get all the stuff out of the department store. Everything they're doing is what I feel like we would all do.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, guys. This is exactly how it would happen. A
Mhm.
few
It
of us
is.
would find their way into a mall. R.I.P. the American mall.
Exactly. So much for that plan. Thanks,
Well,
America.
In 1978, it would have worked beautifully, but even in the Polaris Mall today, I'm not sure how long
You're
six of us would last.
not surviving in Polaris Mall. Nothing survives in Polaris Mall now. So nothing's going to survive up there.
The Tuttle Mall is the one that is dead. The Tuttle Mall is a zombie in itself.
You go to Tuttle if you want to survive because there's nothing else there. Hell,
Well, that's true.
Westland is gone. They demoed that whole fucking thing.
Eastland is about to be
Eastland's
dumped out.
next on the
Northland
thing.
is gone.
Anna's over here like, the fuck are you two
I
babbling
don't
about?
know. I'm assuming malls in the Ohio
All the-
area.
Yeah,
the
it's Columbus malls. But yeah, also
It'd have to be Walmart. You'd have to wall up into
That's
a
what I was
Walmart,
thinking. You'd
right?
like Walmart or Target, something like
I
that.
could do definitely a Walmart. More food
I'd
selection.
rather do like
a bigger
Sam's
like
Club.
outdoor like
Oh, you want to
car
go
stuff
go
kind
to
of
like
thing,
Bass
batteries.
Pro Shop and we'll see.
There's no
you go-
food in there.
Yeah, you go to Walmart because Target
Snacks.
it's frou shit and clothes that don't fit anybody. You go to Walmart, plenty of food. You got the car care center.
Yep.
You have tools. You
Tools.
have clothes. You have
Yep.
food. You have
Yep.
everything, and you also have the ability to just kind of barricade like two main openings, the docks at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Easier to barricade.
Docks are steel. They're fine.
Right. You can handle it. So
And these kind of zombies aren't strong, and they can't like run against the glass
I like
to break
that.
them.
I like
So-
that in this one.
It makes perfect sense that these are the fortresses that humanity would seek out.
It was kind of wild too because they talk about it that malls are kind of a newish thing.
They
'Cause
were.
They
Mhm.
mention it like, oh yeah, why would we come here? Like they say something about, oh yeah, it just opened or something not long ago, and then the actual real mall, it hadn't been open very long when they filmed this.
Mhm.
So
The
it's kind of like
Monroeville Mall or something like that.
it's something like it's in Pennsylvania. It's
Yeah.
like it's
Mhm.
still there. People go
Still there.
film, take pictures. I read that one of the things about Philadelphia is everyone grows up wanting to be in a zombie movie because it's like right there is where they had the zombie movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it. Also allows them, like when they do have to run before they eradicate all the zombies, they have to like run through them, and you can knock them down, you can kick them. They take a minute to get up.
I like that.
Yeah, Pete's like, I could probably live that.
No, I couldn't. I would not survive. Somebody bigger with a gun would have me for lunch.
I would have Pete strapped to my back like Master Blaster, just running around. He's just over there.
No, like the guy from Alien Resurrection.
Oh yeah, I could have him like Alien Resurrection, strapped backwards.
And
eyes
in the front and in the back.
I got to teach him how to shoot a gun though, and
Charlie,
not hit one of us.
Jungle gyms. That's where we need to hole up in our zombie apocalypse.
Yeah,
we need to go to jungle gyms.
I was gonna say, if we go to Great Wolf Lodge, there's only so much we can do at the water park. So
At least we can have some fun.
Gyms has one of the greatest alcohol collections in the state.
Well, it does. Yes, yeah. And I love that even in the 70s, Romero thought, why don't malls have gun stores? Malls don't have gun stores, everyone. I'm just letting you know, like, not like what they showed.
We talked about that in Chopping Mall. We brought this up.
Well, okay, so the Bass Pro Shop is attached to Polaris.
Yeah, some do. Our old mall had a gun shop in technically the mall, like the bigger
I
part
don't
of
ever
it.
remember.
We've got a Dunham's, and it's attached to our mall, and they sell guns.
Okay, there you go. Sure.
But this one was not. It was a separate gun shop that he filmed and made it seem like it's there.
It didn't look right. It didn't look like it belonged in a mall.
It did not fit a mall.
No.
It doesn't look that cool in a mall.
Probably had a buddy in PA, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, you can film over here in my gun shop." Yeah.
Also, this is me. I've watched a lot of Mad Max. There would not be a fucking gun left in that store for anyone else but me to have. It's because when these sorry,
dude, that's a real biker club, man.
That was
they will find you.
But when those bikers are like, they see them coming, and it's like, we'll build a fake wall, and that'll fool them, and we'll let them just come in. I'm like, they go in that gun shop, and they look like the Terminator from Terminator. I want that gun. Give me that gun. I need those bullets. Give me all these guns. Give me the laser gun.
Instead of getting all the guns to fight the zombies, they go get pies. I
love that.
Whipped cream pies. I almost lost my shit. Like, what?
I'm watching Blazing Saddles all of a sudden because I had no memory of a pie fight.
There was even Looney Tunes music playing in the background. I don't know if that was actually hurting the zombies. I think it was such a left turn. I wasn't exactly sure what we were doing.
I read that Romero was purposely going out to make this kind of comic bookish. I've been around Pete way too long. Comic bookish. He wanted a bit of comedy and levity into it, and that's where Argento kind of disagreed with him a little bit on.
Yeah.
He's like, this needs to be,
it was uneven.
It very much was uneven.
Like those bikers,
agree with you.
They're real bikers. They were there to kick ass and
expected
rape and pillage. They were Vikings. They were coming in to
use up
that. Yes, all the resources and take it, because those. Now you got to give credit to this biker gang, because they had been surviving on their own for probably at least a year
on the road.
The road. So they knew what they were doing, and when they came in, I totally get that they're Vikings. They're going to come in. They're just going to rape and pillage and take what they want.
Yep.
Strip you of your resources and use it for themselves.
Yep.
It sure didn't look like that's what their plan was.
Did not.
They went in there and they were trying to steal TVs. I love the comments like, what are you going to watch on that thing? It's like, oh, okay. He's got this 13-inch CRT
and throws it into the other one. And
so
he grabs a hammer. I did love the biker with the sledgehammer the whole time. That guy, I was cracking up. He's out there bonking. That's what gave me the Dead Rising throwback. I was like, you get a sledgehammer in that game, and that's where this is from now. And that guy's running around just bonking. I was waiting for that sound effect. I really was. I was waiting for the Batman pals and bombs and whiffs. And I like that there was Tom Savini in this. He was like the leader of it. I always get a kick out of seeing
combs
him.
his mustache with a switchblade comb.
I had one of those, sir. Thank you very much.
You did?
I did. I got that at Tweetsy Railroad in Tennessee. Anna, I'm sure you know where Tweetsy Railroad is, or at least heard of it.
No, is it in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg somewhere?
North of that.
Okay.
It's like a smaller amusement park, obviously around trains. But we used to go to Tweetsy. That was my Dollywood.
Oh, okay.
And I got a switchblade comb.
Yeah.
And that's
you were hot shit.
Dude, it flipped out with some force. Like it's a pop there. Oh yeah, I'm a badass. I had the comb, man.
I've got a butterfly knife bottle opener.
I have seen those as
So
well.
I can do the flip, and then it's open my beer.
Yep. Pete's just a regular badass over there. Pow! There you go. It's
I cracked my knuckles so much learning how to do that.
all dude. I had a trainer, and dude, you beat the shit out of your hands. Oh yeah, I had one. I could probably still do it. It's been a long time.
Your knuckles remember that.
Yes, everyone. It's called a Bale song. We fucking know. It's a butterfly knife. Okay, you grew up in the '80s. It's a goddamn butterfly.
Butterfly
knife.
knife. Goes by no other title.
That's right. Just like that switchblade was a comb. And I don't even know if I had a mustache at the time, and I had a fucking switchblade comb. Okay, that's how badass I was. I kind of wish I had it now.
You're just doing this.
I'm brushing my eyebrows. I'm badass. Look at that. I brush out my eyebrows a little bit. Well, the bikers part of it is, yes, I feel like that would happen. It needs to be in the movie, but it's way too comical. Like out of left field comedy. Like at no point am I scared of Tom Savini. At no point am I scared of anyone. Even though, and Jesus Christ, Ken, I know it's the character. You went through all this trouble. You had a montage of carpentry, which you had my interest peaked. I was like, hey, circular saws, hammers and nails. I'm in. What are we doing?
Man's
this
getting
is Charlie.
dirty.
Charlie porn right here.
You're speaking my language.
Zip.
We're gonna build a wall so they don't know the stairwells here. Brilliant, sir.
Very smart.
Brilliant. We're gonna hang a ladder and we'll go up through the ceiling. I'm with you. It's fantastic. Let me wait till 37 bikers are following me, run to the ladder, then look them straight in the face, shoot one of them, climb up the ladder, not pull the ladder up, but look through the opening, see if anyone can still see me. They still see me, wait another 30 seconds, then pull the ladder up, where they run down the hallway going, that motherfucker went somewhere. It ain't here. It ain't here. Let's go through the cardboard wall.
It's pretty much cardboard wall.
It wasn't even drywall. It wasn't.
Maybe there wasn't drywall.
There was like,
although JCPenney's was there.
Sir, they had a circular saw, 2x4s.
Well,
and what they built is not what they busted through. Like there were 4 sticks. I'm not even gonna call them studs. There was 4 sticks of wood holding up this fucking Wile E. Coyote wall, hoping that the Roadrunner would just keep going. Because that's how that felt. That's how silly. And what are those guys? It's been racking my brain, and I didn't Google it till just now, and I couldn't remember. What are those fucking bald dudes with the tambourines at the airports always called, Pete?
Hare Krishna.
I kept saying Harry Carey all day. And I'm like, that's not right. That's a guy. Harry Krishnas. This fucking Harry Krishna motherfucker had me in stitches because he's just bebopping. I was waiting for him to play his fucking tambourine. He's just cruising. Gray face paint. Sorry, Tom. That was your biggest
that was rough.
blunder.
I've been avoiding talking about that.
It's okay. I know it's bad. I don't care.
And that's also
it is
Anna,
what it
I don't
is.
care.
I also sent Anna a picture. Nate and I have our friend Derek, who was on our show early on, and he had a picture of the actual face paint from
So
the movie.
cool.
And it's the gray. He's like, yeah, it's confirmed. It's not blue or anything. It's gray. So yeah, it was amazing. Seeing this Hare Krishna guy walking his way up. And that, again, it's another point where, Francine, kind of useless. Even though they're supposed to be of training her, she can't even take out a Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I missed the Hare Krishna, but I did see the Nun, and now I want to go back and watch this to just watch the background.
How'd you miss the Hare Krishna? He has a whole segment of slowly walking up the stairs, slowly getting into the room where she is, and Ken Foree and the other guy, Flyboy, are behind all of this happening. And then they blow its head off once they get through the cardboard boxes.
You have my apologies.
I don't know how you missed this guy. I mean, it's literally probably 5 or 10 minutes of this guy
didn't register. But now I want to go back and
she's like backed into a fucking corner, and it's just walking over to her.
Yeah.
Luckily, they bust in. Like
that was Hare Krishna.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it had the robes, the
Yeah,
beads, the tambourine, and the top knot. It was a Hare Krishna. I know what those guys. I've ran into them before. Yeah, I still don't know what they do. I still have no idea.
They beg for money.
So, like all religion.
Yes,
very true.
Yes.
I don't care. I'll say what I want to say.
It's very true. You're not wrong.
But like, I still want to go back and watch the background. I want to see all the zombies. There's got to be other little. There's got to be a guy with a sombrero or a.
Yeah, they were all like Pennsylvania natives from the area because that's what Romero wanted.
Someone walking around with an A-frame saying, "Eat at Joe's" or something. There's got to be
that would have been great.
Yeah, right. There's got to be
something that said like Philly steak or something on it.
Right.
Just or like the sombrero guy, but he's got a bandolier of bullets. Give me just
great
fucking
mustache.
Yeah, Chavez or something just running around out there. Because if you're going to make it a comedy, full send.
Exactly.
Full send into being silly.
When the bikers got there, you thought this is going to be an ass-kicking, hard, ball-busting, bloody good time. And there's a guy taking his blood pressure.
Yeah.
With a blood pressure machine.
Mm-hmm.
And puts his arm back in the machine.
Back in it. And then the zombies get him, rip his body from his arm as the blood pressure machine is still taking.
And it says 00 over 00. I got the joke and I laughed, but I'm also sitting there going, why?
Yeah.
Why?
He wanted to have fun.
That's totally fine. I'm not hating on this because it's obviously giving us something awesome to talk about, because this is, I don't mind a bit of levity in an apocalyptic movie, and it's fine. It just felt really, really out of place.
It's uneven.
Fair. It shocks you out of the despair you should be feeling. Like I kind of want this ebb and flow. They're getting away. They're frantic. Let's get in the helicopter. We found other people. Okay, now we're here. Then okay, let's land here for a few minutes. Let's hole up in this one spot of the mall. Okay, I'm with you. Now let's go venture out. Maybe we could stay here. Let's catch our breaths. Now we're living like kings. Now we have a bit of levity. Now we can feel humanity coming back to us just a little bit. Then bikers come back in. Boom, back into the dread. And it's not zombies. It's humanity is attacking us now.
Right.
And wants everything that we have. But instead of getting that, we got comical with trying to still be desperate, but it falls flat. Like the shootout, those guys would have stood no chance against these bikers if they had been the bikers I was picturing in my head.
Yeah, it's like they're dressed as bikers to make them look badass, but they're the total opposite of that.
Yes, even getting through the zombies felt comical when they were trying to get into the mall.
Yeah,
and they make a point to comment, like Ken Foree goes, well, if they get in, they just busted open the door and they're going to have 1,000 of them sumbitches to deal with. They're not going to need to deal with us. The bikers pull their van in front of the door. So immediately I'm like, well, they're not stupid until the stupidity starts. And again, capitalism, you're not going to take what's mine. This is mine and you can't have it. You dumb son of a bitch. Fucking Flyboy has to fly off the handle out of nowhere. And you're just like, I understand Ken's frustration. I would have climbed up that hole and left his ass outside. I'd have walked up there.
You're done.
I told an old girl, like, I did everything I could. I'm sorry. He's gone. Let's get
They
the
got
helicopter.
him. Sorry, Tuts.
Yeah, it's time to get on the helicopter. Let's just peace out. We gone. Not quite in that order. Kind of what happens, but not quite in that order. So yeah, I never feel bad that he gets bit, Flyboy. You know, whenever they finally get
Yeah,
to
I
him.
agree. And it's weird because he's kind of the nicer guy if you look at him from a stereotypical kind of way, and then Roger is more like the tough guy who flies off the handle. And I was more impacted by him changing and everything that happened with him way more than I was with Steven.
That was very emotional.
Even
It
though
really was.
though we knew that, like, he's the father of Francine's baby, so we know he's going to be a dad, and he's at least trying. But at the same time, I just didn't care.
I didn't care, and I wasn't buying it. I was waiting for the needle to drop. There was a comment though that I was a little curious about, and they never touch on it again. And it's when they get in the helicopter and they first meet Roger, and or they first meet Peter. Roger is Flyboy's friend, and Ken Foree is added on. So they're trying to have like this small talk, and they ask about, what are you leaving behind? Well, she says an ex-husband, and Flyboy says an ex-wife. So it's like, because they're not married in this, because he tries to propose to her and she's like, it won't work. So there's some infidelity that they just kind of glaze over there a little bit.
She's got his love child.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
I missed that.
So it would have been even better towards the end where she, you know, like she's dealing with the fact that she knows it's not his. It's her other husband's. Like that would have been way better on why she is so distant from him.
Yeah.
And also turns down, like, bitch, it's not going to be real. What the fuck you mean it's real? Society's dead. I just want to say you and me are it from now on. In all honesty, if you wanted to keep on the comedy on that scene where they're sitting in bed and she's sitting there smoking a cigarette and he's laying there and the camera pans back, I was waiting for Ken Foree to be on the other side of that bed smoking a J. That would have made me laugh. And I would have been like, fair. Okay. Fair. Ken's got to get his too. I'm just saying. He's a nice man.
She had more of a reaction to him than I felt like, you know, because there were moments like, especially when he's serving them dinner and she's like, oh, what about you? And he's like, nope, this is for you guys, just for you guys.
Yeah, the black man is serving the white people.
But I think he was just trying to do something special.
I really
Which, I mean, I'm the single person typically always, so I'm used to being the third wheel. I would do stuff like that for my friends, you know.
Anna, you're a catch.
That's bad, Pete. It was smack you with a newspaper.
I know.
But I agree with you, Pete. That scene where Roger turns and Ken Foree is sitting directly across from him.
And what's playing on the TV as well, because the broadcast stations, some people are still holed up and the signal's still working.
Yeah.
So it's basically like probably what we would do in an apocalypse. If we still had some kind of internet connection, we'd still be recording for people. It'd be going live.
We're putting that shit on Twitter. Twitter's still working. Here we go, people.
Yeah, we'll be going live on Instagram, doing video and everything.
What did the kids yell? Is it like All Star or whatever the hell?
World Star.
World Star. We're just yelling World Star the whole time. Pete's totally lost on that reference.
Nope.
Now you know how Anna felt when we were talking about malls in Columbus. But I did really, really like, and that's again, I like Roger and I care. His death impacted me, and that scene hits better than when Flyboy just turns.
Yeah.
Also, thanks Amazon that the picture of the movie is of Flyboy when he turned, because I hadn't seen the movie in so long. I kept going, It looks an awful lot like the zombie that they showed at the beginning of the movie
Whoops.
when I clicked. And then that scene where he's in that little room with the boxes, I went, motherfuckers. He
Yeah.
just showed me the whole like big uh-oh at the end.
I mean,
of
he's
this.
he's on a shirt I've got. He's on posters. Like he's one of kind of the faces as far as zombies.
I'm surprised he's not the head rising, but it's always been the bald generic zombie head.
Right.
With hell, where's that zombie in here? Where's a
I know.
bald,
Good question.
non-Hare Krishna bald? So if it's the Hare Krishna zombie on all the promo shit, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh my god!
It might be.
I bet it is.
It's just you're just gonna piss me right the fuck off.
But hey,
Alright,
I think
yeah.
real quick, I think the reason why we're more impacted by Roger's death is because in the whole movie, the whole time he was alive, he showed more emotion than Stephen and Francine did. Same with Peter. I think that's
True.
why we like them the most. And even I really like too that, you know, if we go by Walking Dead standards, you know, everybody kind of changes in different times. Like it all depends on your body, I'm sure your metabolism, science, stuff like that. So it took Roger quite some time to change. Like they gave him morphine, they made him comfortable. And so we spent time with him, like when they were clearing the mall and getting supplies, like he was playing duck hunt, like doped up on morphine, having a good time, eating nuts and stuff. Like we got to see kind of him living out his last days, doing crazy shit in the mall during this apocalypse. So I think because we got more emotion out of him, multiple different emotions, I think that's why we care more.
Mm-hmm. And then Steven does change rather quickly. And I also wanted to point out, I also think that Steven it was very interesting how, and I know it wasn't Steven at the time, but he turned real quickly, but then his betrayal of his friends.
As zombie? Yeah.
When he leads the whole pack of zombies to the wall the wall they built.
Yeah.
And he knew exactly where to go.
It kind of goes back to the instinct thing.
The zombie brains aren't dead.
Dead
they're not
yet.
They still function to a certain degree, and maybe the longer that zombie is alive, the more that brain. I haven't seen Land, Charlie, so I don't know how
Land gets a little bit weird, but they start getting smart. They learn how to use guns. They learn
but look at Day too with Bub.
Yeah.
With Bub starts to show humanity. I mean, really, if you want to go, you can even do like Shaun of the Dead. All of those tropes where now they're working at supermarkets, pushing trolleys, and on game show games. That's what they're using the zombies for.
Or Fido, if you've ever seen Fido.
Yes, I've seen Fido.
That one, I liked Fido quite a bit, and I did like Shaun of the Dead. That was
I liked that. This is still Romero figuring out the rules too, because if you look at Roger gets bit like on a lower extremity, so it takes longer for the stuff to get to him, and I think Flyboy gets bit on the neck or something, like somewhere close,
like his his
so
calf too. I felt like when he's climbing up through the elevator, like when he's climbing up and he's got bit like on his.
I think he got bit there, and then everyone like convenes on him inside the elevator too. Like he fights it back, and you're like, oh shit, he might actually make it. And then they finally get that like death bite on him. And I think Romero had the idea of how fast the poison travels, depending on where you're bit, which is fine. I mean, it's zombies; you can be a little loose with the rules.
Yeah,
and I don't have a problem.
Didn't Roger do a tourniquet on his leg?
He did.
Roger immediately did
right away
a tourniquet, like he's like questioning whether to cut his leg off.
He should have, because then he would have survived.
That was one of my questions. Like, so if this zombie poison virus, whatever, travels really slowly, could you, if they bit you on the hand, can you chop your hand off and you'd be all right?
In The Walking Dead, yes.
I think in The Walking Dead, but I would have to be like, if we, we're going to use the word loosely. If we did this in reality, you're probably going to die from the infection of doing that. Yeah, and it's going to take way longer, and it's probably going to hurt more. Yeah. So don't do that.
I'm dying either way. I'm at least going to take a risk. Damn it. I'm going to try.
This ain't idle hands
off.
where you can take an iron and burn the wound. It don't work like that.
Or
Okay,
but a
then-
cast iron skillet. We just saw that in the ruins.
Yeah, ruins. That's not. It's not how it
Cast
works.
iron though. You never know.
You know, maybe Rambo with a little gunpowder, light it off. You know, because it burns everything. I don't know.
Sure that's
but-
bullshit too.
No, it's never bullshit in Rambo, sir. It's never bullshit in Rambo. Stop it. But so our final survivors, we find out Ken Forey and Kathleen Karen.
Francine.
Francine. I had two.
Kathleen Karen.
Kathleen Karen. That is no way indicative of Kathleen over a Good Beer Bad Movie Night. I love Kathleen, and I would never say that about her. But it,
wow.
We get this. Okay, now where do we go? Or it's like, how much fuel do we have? And it's not much. So it's kind of
okay.
Yeah, it's a bleak ending with maybe a sliver of hope. I know Romero had joked around about like it'd be kind of cool to see the survivors of day run into the survivors of dawn on, say, like an island or something, and either they fight it out or figure out that they're both survivors and then they have to team up, but never happened like that, unless that's what Diary is about. But I've never seen Diary, so it's ambiguous ending for Dawn of the Dead. So I think it's time for us to jump into the things. What do y'all say?
Yeah.
Yes, please. All right, I gotta find a button. There it is.
Spoils just did Evil Dead remake, which this clip is from.
Yep.
I gotta own that movie. I gotta go back.
So much fun.
How do you not own it? It's so good.
I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, so everybody go check out Spoils of Horror's coverage of 2013's Evil Dead. Oh man, that's how you do a remake.
True.
That's
Damn
how you do
fucking
a remake
right.
there. Go fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
Just blood.
That's a fucking
Bullshit.
banger.
It's
Oh
a
god,
banger.
it's
That's
insane.
That's an Anna banger month.
Dude, no kidding. Have y'all covered
And
that? Yeah.
Nope.
No, we've only done Evil.
You had two.
Evil Dead
And
2.
Army. You've done Army.
And we did Army.
We did Army.
We did Army. We haven't done one, but technically we've done two, so therefore we've done one. So I guess we could either do Rise or 2013, which I like Rise.
Rise is very good.
I have no problem with that. So Raining Blood. I was hoping for big numbers, and it's big numbers. I mean, it's low budget, so not as many people. I'm sure some zombies got reused for kills.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Swinging them around. But our total is 93, but our
Nice.
breakdown is
Yeah.
17 human,
Yeah.
76 Zeds.
Huh. That does sound low.
Very nice.
And it's because it's the low budget aspect of it, is that because outside there's barely any zombies. Like even when they're swarming the building, there's like 20 of them. You know, so they're filming it creatively where it feels very, frantic and shit, but there's not that many. You watch the remake, there's like 1,000 outside. Okay. That there's a real intense fear of shit. We're barely surviving because everything's, the doors are holding and the gates are holding. So, but a good kill count. Let's pick our favorite kill.
What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
For now, that actually fits.
It's very funny.
Oh my god, it does.
Very funny.
Been waiting. See, with Pete, we can't use that all the time. We don't always do a zombie movie.
I'm not telling you what to pick. You
That's
pick whatever.
epic.
You tell us what to pick all the time.
There's a couple of movies that I will
Zombieland is fucking fun though.
call
I saw that
PTO
in the
for.
theater.
You have zero PTO left. I keep telling you this. It's gone.
I've been here for how many years? I've got to have accrued some by now.
Not even a little.
Not every job offers PTO. I don't think this
That's
one
right.
does.
This is one that doesn't, sir. Let's start with Pete. Pete, what's your favorite kill in Dawn of the Dead?
There were a lot of amazing kills. Don't get me wrong. But the one that had me giggling so much, and it was telegraphed from a mile away. This zombie is walking towards the helicopter with this Frankenstein toupee on. I'm like, boy, that head's a little weird. Looks like you could cut that off. Chop, 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 chop. And I'm not sure. I I hope Savini didn't make some guy actually walk under. I hope that was all just like we're pulling. I don't know, man.
Pete, Savini did 90% of the stunts in this movie himself with one other guy. I guarantee everything they did was there and in camera. That helicopter is actually spinning its blades every time someone's underneath it.
Sure,
and they are underneath it.
A helicopter is very tall. And
it's tall, so probably it was.
People duck under that just as a reaction to.
It'd have been funnier if he went through the rotor. That would have
been good.
The tail rotor.
So my guess is they had a string or something attached to the
no,
prosthetic and then pulled it off, and it looked like the blades cut him, because I don't think those blades would ever be that low. Or that zombie was really tall. It could have been a Charlie zombie.
It's Hakeem Olajuwon zombie.
But that was he looked so. Tom Savini, I love you dearly. That prosthetic looked a little silly.
Working with what they got, Pete.
But I haven't made a movie. I haven't done makeup for movie.
1978.
Well done, Tom Savini. That's my favorite kill.
Awesome. Anna, what is your favorite kill?
It's when Peter kills Roger after he turns.
Oh, that's a good one.
Just because it's so iconic. And with everything going on around it, like with what's going on the TV and them talking about the outbreak and arguing and just silently. And I love how his face instantly turns like zombie. Like it's like his skin just goes from nice to zombie.
Prune.
Yeah, to prune.
Yeah. It's really cool.
But it's just epic. And then we get them both looking right at the camera too. So it's just epic.
Yeah. Great way to film it. So mine's a little weird. Like, obviously I'm going to pick like what this movie's known for. And that's when they absolutely rip that dude apart and they are pulling out actual pig intestines from this guy's stomach. And let me tell you, these extras didn't get paid a whole lot, but some of them motherfuckers are eating pig intestine, or at least putting it in their mouth, because they are tearing at that shit. You can't have a good, to me, the first one is a pass because it's original, but Romero's just like, we got to rip people apart. Like, he ups it in Day. Like,
yes,
I love the kill in Day. That one,
choke on him.
You almost can't top that one. But this one, it makes me smile going, oh, this is where they were getting to. This is where it kind of starts.
Yeah.
And I love.
Here's your X rating.
Yeah, exactly. It's how bad is it that in 78 this was X rated, and I'm sitting here saying this fucking movie's tame. What the fuck is going on here?
Shit.
But I'm also upset that my fucking machine gun zombie doesn't die in this, because that would have been my pick. I would have picked that motherfucker carrying a gun this entire movie. He's still roaming around that mall carrying that gun.
Yep.
Okay, to this day.
Became a piece of him.
Oh my god, that would have been my kill, but it's ripping the guts out and the head pop at the beginning. Because I love that whenever a movie starts like that, you're like, fuck, where are they going to go next? Like they put bits of meat in the back of that head and blood. And it blows the fuck. I mean, and it's funny. It's a chick's head that they painted to look like a black man and did all this stuff. Oh yeah, and it just bloosh. So good. But good kills. All right, let's rate this bad boy.
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back. Woo!
I'm gonna go ahead and let Anna set the bar here.
Y'all know already.
Oh, I know what this is.
We all know what it is. That's why I'm starting with you. So, Anna, what do you rate Dawn of the Dead?
10 out of 10. Anna's month of banger months, even the pick y'all picked for me, is not only top 5 favorite horror movies, but top 5
for 10 the whole month.
Yes,
Right.
top 5 favorite movies of all time, no matter the genre. I love it. I don't think it'll ever get old. I mean, here we are in 2025 and we're still talking about it. Like, Pete, you'd never watched it front to back. Charlie, this is your second time seeing it.
Second time.
You know, I
and
think
probably my first time seeing the long cut.
Right.
So, yeah.
So that says a lot that people are still discovering it and we're still talking about it. And I think it's great gateway horror too. Because what kids kind of get used to nowadays is a lot worse than than the zombie effects in this. Because by the time, like when we went and saw it in theaters, Marley came with us, and she got to see it in 3D too, and so she wasn't scared because at that point she had already seen like Scream and stuff like that. So this was tame for her.
Marley's right with me. Going, is this it?
Yeah, this is it.
What? I thought I was supposed to be scared.
Yeah.
Why is this rated X? This is bullshit. You tell him, Marley. Tell him.
She would too.
We need a clip of Marley screaming, "This is bullshit."
Oh, that's what she was saying with the governor on The Walking Dead, man. She was like, when does he die? I'm done with him. She's so pissed.
Tell Marley I was the same way with Shane.
Oh,
like this
same.
motherfucker gots to go.
Got to go.
Gots to go.
She's annoyed with Rick a little bit.
Why is he in season 2? He's got to go.
Oh yeah, he did die quicker in the comics. Oops, sorry guys.
Oh yeah. Oh, spoiler.
Sorry.
I don't give a shit. That's staying. All right, Pete. Your favorite genre?
This conversation has given this a better rating.
Oh, I love when that happens.
I was gonna go with a 5 because it's not my thing. I'm not saying don't watch it. I'm not saying watch it. You're an adult. Pick your battles.
Decisions. Yep.
So this is I'm going up to a 7.
Okay.
Damn.
Because
you got him up 2 points.
I really, as much as we've been talking about it, and as much I've been thinking about it. These zombies do have rules. They are the zombies. I like the slower zombies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of messaging, a lot of social messaging that Romero was talking about. There was comedy in this, as uneven as it may have been.
Yeah, you got tickled a few times.
I genuinely laughed at this movie a couple of times. I don't think I'll watch the 2.5-hour version ever again.
That's fair.
But I might go revisit the 90-minute one.
Yeah, you should try the Argento cut. It's more darker.
Yeah, they take the comedy out of
But then again, you don't like the too serious stuff, so the comedy might help break it up for you.
But you would have a good and evil. You'd have a good yin and yang about it.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I went from a 5 up to a 7.
That's awesome.
It's zombies are still not my thing.
That's okay.
So yeah, there you go. That's all I got.
Hell yeah.
No, totally fine.
Charlie.
So yeah, I like zombies. I like this movie, but as I've stated in here, I definitely like Day a lot more.
Yeah.
To me, that's like my Romero or early Romero movie because I like Land.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it here. I prefer the remake over this movie. It's Charlie-fied. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure
it's more Charlie.
Way more action packed, way more explosions. The gore galore. Okay,
gore galore.
They turn it to 11 in that movie, and obviously when you're in the 2000s, the prosthetics are better. A lot of stuff is better, and it's also not CG to death.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did very little in 2003.
Yeah,
but I did enjoy watching this. It was nice to kind of have a bit of a throwback to a classic zombie movie where the rules are being made, where people got their influence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving this a solid 8.5. So this is, it's a big recommend. I kind of do recommend you at least watch the long one at least once, and you can always go back to the theatrical. I kind of am curious to see the Argento cut. I'm also curious to see if maybe that's the one I saw early on.
Could be,
because I don't know. I'm talking 25 plus years probably since I saw this movie originally.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I saw it after I saw a lot more violent shit.
Right.
So I'm kind of Marley in this thing going, the fuck? What is this next?
This is tame.
This is bullshit.
It's bullshit.
The movie is not bullshit, though. It is definitely well worth your time. I'm glad we picked this. I'm glad I twisted Pete's arm a little bit to do a zombie.
Me
because
too.
I just could not do another found footage movie. I'm
That's
sorry.
fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah,
We'll do it, Anna. Hell House is a.
you
Yeah,
guys,
we're
you go
That's
nuts.
we'll make it happen on the Barons. I think
Go on.
we're gonna
I
do the
love that
franchise
movie.
because the
Drag
fifth one
him over to Barons.
the fifth one comes out in August, I believe. But around
There's
spooky season.
5 of them motherfuckers.
The fifth one, yeah.
Shit.
I
Why?
don't think I've seen the fourth one. Did that
I
just come
like
out?
them all. I know a lot of people hate the third one, but I like them all, even the fourth one.
I
So,
kind of like the third one.
so we're gonna do a retrospective and also watch the new one because I think it'll come out on Shudder too. So we'll have you on for that. But yes, this was perfect for this show as well. And if you're a horror fan and you haven't seen, I think at least the original Romero trilogy, Night, Dawn, Day, then you gotta do yourself a solid,
Right.
and watch
Right.
that trilogy.
All right. So one more thing to do.
I'm the trash man.
Oh man.
Ah! Nate is not here. Oh, shit.
It was quick.
Never mind. I'm not doing a trash opinion.
Yay!
I thought he was hushing us.
Nope. I was hushing Danny DeVito. Also, almost all of Anna month, and we barely played the technical difficulty drop. I don't know. I felt like I was missing pushing that button.
Been a nice month, y'all.
It has, but don't worry.
Can I laugh in your face?
We'll always be here.
I know.
So that will conclude month of Anna. I think huge success as
And
far as
April.
everybody downloading. You guys have been
Yay.
eating it up. I believe she did, in fact, pick bangers after Banger March. It's just rolling. Thank you guys so
yeah.
much. It's
We're gonna run out of bangers.
Never.
We will never run out of bangers.
Never.
So yeah. As of right now, we've changed our original plan of what we were going to do.
We pivoted. Yes.
We pivoted. We didn't. We will do what we're planning, and I'm not going to spoil it yet. You'll have to wait till June.
Yes.
So May will kind of be what may happen will happen. That's
Open
what we're going to call it.
Mhm.
So technically, we don't have a pick yet for next week. You'll have to wait and see when we announce what we're going to be covering. It will be an action movie. I will be picking it. That's all I can tell you right now. So I haven't had a pick. I know technically I kind of got to do Sisu. Nate took all the credit for Big Trouble, and then my birthday has been the only time I got to say shit. I had to drive tonight just so I could get ready for my own episode. Okay? I'm picking it. So yeah, next week, a Charlie action pick. I will promise it will be well worth the wait. And you will enjoy our surprise. We're bringing back an old friend.
Yes.
And no, it's not Nate.
Is it a friend? No?
It's a friend to the audience because they had a ball with it last year too. That's all the hints I'm going to give you. And if you want to continue and keep up with what we're going to do next week and everything else we got going on, you can check us out over at Give Me Back My Action Movies, the Facebook group. Give Me Back My Horror Movies, the Facebook group. New members keep showing up. I'm loving it. Guys, keep coming. You can find us on Instagram at Give Me Back My Action, Give Me Back My Horror. Again, getting a lot of comments, getting a lot of crossover comments now from the B Action side that comes out every other Saturday. We have the B Action on Instagram. And of course, always bridging the gap of all of our sister shows with the Barons, with the Dustins, is Anna at Nerd at the Movies on Instagram. Yes! She is the lighthouse in between our little islands, our beacon, if you will, to shine the light on whatever she feels like that week, or yell at us because we're not shining the light bright enough for her.
I just tagged Nate. I said, Nate, will you please accept my collab?
Yes, you have to get him. You have to, you still need to
tag
teach Pete.
him.
You still got to teach Pete what a collab is because he's also there at Good Beer Bad Movie Night. You can follow along. Make sure you are listening. Oh, don't get me riled up. Don't get me riled up. Pete, what comes out this month?
Son-in-Law.
What came out? So it would have already come out, but Son-in-Law was their April pick. I am looking forward to that because I know that someone went through a lot of pain.
It was awful.
Yeah, I can't wait. This is your fucking payback, sir.
It was awful.
Payback. That's all I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
That's awesome stuff. So yeah, make sure you're following us
I don't even know my co-hosts
everywhere.
anymore. They are estranged.
Yeah. You didn't know me, apparently. Yeah. See what happens? You earned it. You did this. You did this. That'll do it for this week. Thank you, guys. Please follow us, share us, do all those fun stuff. Check out everybody on our commercials, all of the people that follow and share us. We appreciate you. And we will see you next week with an action pick.
Yay!